The stars were quiet. The galaxy, full of noise and chaos, had fallen into an uneasy calm. On the edge of Zarkan space, a single ship appeared, small, fast, and completely unknown. The scanners of Outpost 7 screamed in warning, and the alarm lights turned red. Commander Vec looked at the screen and froze. "It's Earth," someone whispered. Commander Vec's eyes narrowed. "Earth? That small blue planet?" "No, sir," the technician said, his voice shaking. "This is not any normal ship. Its energy levels, they're off the charts. It's too advanced. We've never seen anything like it. The ship didn't send a message. It didn't answer hails. It moved slowly, silently, through Sector 9 like it didn't care who was watching. But everyone was watching." Within minutes, every Zarkan base in the sector was on alert. Warships were launched. Fighters spread across space like a cloud of metal insects. They surrounded the unknown ship, ready to fire. But nothing happened. The alien ship didn't attack. It didn't run. It just floated, like it was waiting for something. Commander Vec gave the order, "Do not fire until I say. I want to know what it's doing." Inside the ship, cameras showed no life signs, no heat, no movement, yet somehow it was flying itself with perfect control. The AI systems on the Zarkan fleet scanned and scanned, but found nothing useful. Some believed it was a probe. Others believed it was a new Earth weapon. A few feared it was something worse. Then the ship disappeared. Not exploded. Not jumped to light speed. It simply vanished. Commander Vec screamed at his officers. "Find it. Scan every planet. Every asteroid." But it was gone. 3 hours later, a base on planet Red 6 went dark. No signals. No response. A rescue team was sent. They found the entire place abandoned. No bodies. No blood. Just empty rooms and the smell of smoke. On the wall, written in strange letters, was a message. "Leave Earth alone." Now the fear began to grow. The Zarkans had faced many enemies in the past. They had fought humans before. Strong, brave, and clever, yes, but never like this. Never silent. Never so clean, so cold, so exact. The High Command was called for an emergency meeting. General Tak slammed his fist on the table. "They've sent their fleet. This is just the scout. The rest are coming." "Impossible," said Admiral Reen. "Earth signed the peace treaty years ago." "Treaties mean nothing to humans when they want revenge," another officer said. A map of the galaxy blinked on the screen. Red dots showed the Zarkan stations, hundreds of them. One ship had made them all nervous. "We should strike Earth now," said one general, "before they strike us." But the room went quiet. No one moved. No one agreed. Because deep down, they were not sure. What if this wasn't Earth's full force? What if this wasn't the army? What if this was just one human, one scout? And if one could do this, what could the rest do? Commander Vec sat in his chair, quiet and pale. He remembered something from a report years ago, a story about human scouts, small teams sent into deep space to study and explore. Some said they were trained for stealth. Others said they were more than soldiers. They were monsters in human skin. "I want every base on high alert," Vec said quietly. "I want drones in the sky, guards on the ground, and every sensor tuned. This is not a game." Still, they heard nothing. The human scout was somewhere in their space, watching, waiting, or worse, already moving. That night, a second base went dark. Same pattern. No explosion, no trace, just silence. And again, on the wall, those same words, "Leave Earth alone." Zarkan citizens began to panic. News spread fast. Stories were told in hushed voices. Children cried. Soldiers didn't sleep. And the High Command, for the first time in decades, had no answers. Somewhere in the shadows of their empire, something had arrived. Something they could not see. something they could not stop. The war had not begun, but fear already had. And in the silence of deep space, a single human scout watched from the darkness and smiled. The desert winds on planet Red 6 blew across empty buildings and silent machines. Once, this Zarkan outpost had over 200 soldiers. Now, not even a shadow remained. Commander Vec looked at the holo recordings from the rescue team. He saw overturned chairs, half-eaten meals, weapons still hanging on walls. Not a single shot had been fired. No struggle. No signs of a fight. Just disappearance. But the strangest part, all the security systems had been shut down, carefully, as if someone had walked in, took their time, and walked out without making a sound. Only one thing had been added. On a steel wall, scratched deep with a blade, was the warning again. Leave Earth alone. Commander Vec stared at the words for a long time. This isn't a fleet, he said softly. This isn't an army. This is someone playing with us. On planet Daxon 3, a group of elite Zarkan soldiers gathered around their general. These weren't normal troops. These were hunters, specialists trained to track invisible enemies across any terrain. Find him, the general ordered. I want that human's head. I don't care how dangerous he is. The hunters moved fast. They had advanced tracking systems, heat sensors, drones, invisibility suits. No one had ever escaped them. They landed at the abandoned outpost under cover of night. Their scanners picked up nothing. No life, no movement, not even old footprints. Still, they searched every room. And then, one of them vanished. No sound, no alarm. His signal simply vanished from the team's display. Keep looking, barked the leader. He's close. Another signal disappeared. Then another. Within 10 minutes, only one soldier remained. He dropped his weapon and ran. But as he reached his ship, he found the hatch sealed. On the door, carved into the metal, was a final message. Don't chase me. I chase back. Across the galaxy, fear was growing. The High Command met again. Angry voices filled the room. He's one human. He's a ghost. He's using stolen Zarkan tech. No, Commander Vec said quietly, tapping the table. He's using our fear against us. He paused, then continued. He's not here to kill us. Not yet. He wants us to panic, and we are. A new officer entered the room with a trembling hand. Another outpost. Dark. That's 3 in 48 hours. We found this. He placed a device on the table. A small cube. It activated on its own and played a short video. The screen showed the human scout, just for a moment. He wore dark armor. His face was covered by a helmet, but his voice was clear, calm, cold. I am not your enemy. I am your final warning. Earth is peaceful. Leave us alone, or I will show you what war truly means. The screen turned black. Silence filled the room. No one blinked. On the far edge of Zarkan space, a group of alien pirates picked up the trail. They weren't afraid of the human. In fact, they laughed at the stories. Just one. The captain sneered. He's no ghost. He's a prize, and we're going to catch him. They followed a signal into the dark. They never returned. Their last transmission, a whisper. He's behind us. Back on Earth, no one knew what the scout was doing. His mission was secret, even from Earth's own government. He didn't report back, didn't send messages. But the humans who trained him knew one thing. He was built for this. Alone, silent, dangerous. Where he walked, empires trembled. And now, the Zarkan Empire had learned that too late. Their war had not begun, but their fear had already become legend. And the scout, he had just gotten started. Do you know this story? The ghost from Earth. No, not a ghost. A shadow. He walks like silence, strikes like lightning, leaves no blood, just fear. These whispers traveled faster than any ship. From one system to the next, from spaceports to war rooms, stories spread about a human scout, one man who entered Zarkan space and brought an empire to its knees without firing a single shot. In the black markets, criminals stopped trading near Earth sectors. On mining colonies, workers refused to wear Earth-made boots, fearing they'd be mistaken for scouts. And among the stars, aliens began to believe in monsters. In the heart of the Zarkan Empire, Supreme Commander Graltus stood before the Galactic Council. His voice was loud, but his eyes were tired. "We are the strongest military in this part of the galaxy. We have crushed planets, burned fleets, and broken empires. Are we really afraid of one human?" No one answered. General Talk finally spoke. "He's not just a human. He's a message." Graltus laughed. "Then send a message back. Find him. Kill him." An officer entered with a trembling voice. "Sir, we tried. We sent a full team to trap him. All gone. Again." Graltus slammed his fist on the table. Impossible. But it was real. Each team sent to catch the scout vanished. Each trap failed. Every time they thought they had him, he escaped like smoke through their fingers. But he always left something behind. A message. A sign. A signal. This time, it was worse. The words burned onto a crashed drone. "This isn't war. It's patience." Meanwhile, across the stars, other alien species were watching. The Karn Council met in secret. "This is the chance," one whispered. "Zarkans are weak now. Fear has broken them. Do we join the humans?" "No," the elder said. "You don't join a storm. You stay out of its way." Even enemies of Earth began to hesitate. If Earth could send one scout to destroy confidence in the Zarkan Empire, what could a fleet do? One old warlord said, "We thought humans were emotional, fragile, but maybe they just pretended to be." In a dark room on a frozen moon, a captured Zarkan pilot was interviewed. He had seen the human scout once, with his own eyes. He shook as he spoke. "He walked past me," the pilot whispered. "Didn't even kill me. Just looked, through me, like I wasn't a threat." The interviewer asked, "What did he look like?" The pilot's eyes went wide. "He looked like a man. That's the worst part. Just a man." Then, without warning, the human scout struck again. This time, not an outpost, not a team, but a planet, a military command center on Jux 4. It didn't explode. It vanished. Satellites showed the building there one moment, then gone. Just a smoking crater and another message carved into the ground. "This is not your space. Step again, and I won't be alone next time." The meaning was clear. He was still working alone, but he wouldn't be forever. In the shadows of Earth's deep command, a file blinked open. Scout 17. Status: active. Success level: extreme. Phase 2 approved. Back in space, the human scout watched from a cliff on a cold alien world. He didn't smile. He didn't speak. He simply looked up at the stars and began planning the next step. Because fear had spread, and fear was exactly what Earth needed. He made them fear the shadows. He made them doubt their strength. But now, they wanted to fight back. Deep inside Zarkan High Command, a new plan was born. They called it Project Cagefire, a massive trap designed to capture the human scout alive. Not kill him, not destroy him, but break him. "Scouts are clever," General Talk said, "but every hunter can become prey. We will bait him, and we will close the cage." The plan was simple, but deadly. They leaked fake intel, an encrypted message accidentally broadcasted across several outer colonies. It spoke of a secret new Zarkan weapon stored on planet Xorik 9, a weapon that could threaten Earth itself. They waited and watched. Nothing happened on day 1, nothing on day 2. But on day 3, a camera on Xorik 9 caught a glimpse. A shadow moving through the trees. No footsteps. No sound. Just a shape. The scout had come. They smiled. Planet Thorak 9 was made ready. Over 500 elite soldiers hidden underground. Drone swarms in the air. Sensors everywhere. Artificial heat signatures planted to confuse him. And at the center, a fake weapon, just enough to catch his interest. Once he steps inside, Commander Vec whispered, "We seal the dome. No exit, no escape." The trap was perfect. At least, they thought so. The scout entered the zone just before sunset. The Zarkan sensors confirmed movement. "He's in," the AI confirmed. Cage fire sequence initiated. The dome slammed shut with a sound like thunder. Walls of energy rose around the forest, blocking teleportation. A dampening field cut off signals and tech. Nothing could get in. Nothing could get out. The soldiers smiled. He's finished. But inside the dome, the scout wasn't running. He wasn't hiding. He was walking. Calm. Focused. He walked past traps, never triggering them. He moved through the heat signature zones without pause. How is he doing this? A tech whispered. He's reading our moves. No, Commander Vec said, watching the screen. He's 10 steps ahead. Suddenly, screens went black. All sensors stopped. Inside the dome, silence. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Then 30. Still no signal. Commander Vec ordered a backup drone swarm into the dome. Only 3 drones came back. All burned. One had a message carved into it. "You thought this was your trap. It was mine." Panic hit the command center like a wave. Open the dome. Now. The walls fell. Zarkan soldiers rushed in. But what they found shocked them to the core. Every soldier inside was unconscious. Not dead, just sleeping. Their weapons untouched. Their helmets removed. On each one's armor, a single word had been burned. Spared. And the fake weapon, gone. Taken. Back at high command, silence reigned. "He wanted us to see," General Talk said. "He wanted us to know he could have killed them. But he didn't." "Why?" someone asked. Commander Vec stared at the message left behind. A single piece of metal found on the scout's path. Engraved on it, "I'm not here to start the war. I'm here to show you how badly you'll lose it." Across the stars, news of the failed trap spread fast. Aliens laughed at the Zarkan Empire. Other species reevaluated their alliances. Earth remained silent, but respected. And the legend of the human scout grew darker, sharper, more dangerous. Even Zarkan's own people began to ask, if one man can do this, what happens if Earth sends more? Far from the noise, in a hidden valley, the human scout stood by a fire. He placed the stolen weapon beside a communication beacon and whispered one sentence. The stars had gone quiet, not from peace, but from fear. Every Zarkan attempt to stop the human scout had failed. Every trap turned against them. No one had seen his face. No one had heard his voice, except through the chilling messages he left behind. And now, something new was coming. Because the scout had activated a beacon, and Earth had heard. Inside Earth's most secure base, Fort Eclipse, buried under the Pacific Ocean, a red signal flashed. Scout 17 beacon activated, the AI said. Phase 3 authorization required. An old general, blind in one eye, turned to the screen. It's time. What's Phase 3? The young officer asked. The general smiled. The part where we stop warning them. Meanwhile, in the Zarkan Council, chaos ruled. They're planning something. Should we surrender? No. We're the Empire. Then act like one. A signal interrupted the shouting. Zarkan Command had received a new broadcast. Not from the scout. From Earth itself. The screen turned on. An Earth ambassador stood tall. Calm. A middle-aged man in a simple gray uniform. His words were clear. To the Zarkan Empire, this is Earth. You entered our space uninvited. You attacked our people. You threatened our peace. He paused. You met our scout. You failed to stop him. Another pause. Then, he is one man. We have thousands more. We didn't send him to fight you. We sent him to study you. Zarkan generals froze. Now we understand your weaknesses. We understand your fear. We understand how easily your empire crumbles. From the inside. The ambassador leaned forward. You still have time. Leave Earth alone. Or next time, we won't send a scout. We'll send humanity. The screen turned black, and the room went silent. General Tak dropped his cup. They used one man to measure our strength, and we failed every test. Commander Vec spoke quietly. What if that scout wasn't their strongest? Another general added, he never even killed. What happens when they send those who do? The Zarkan Empire had ruled for centuries, but now their walls were cracking. From fear, from doubt, from a message they could not answer. Elsewhere in the galaxy, smaller species who once feared the Zarkans now watched Earth with awe. Maybe humans are monsters, one alien whispered. Or maybe, another replied, they're just smarter than us all. On a hidden moon, the scout received a message back. Encrypted, only he could read it. Earth has spoken. You did well. Begin Phase 4. Silence the war factories. He closed the device, pulled his helmet back on, and vanished into the wind. The warning was over. Now came the consequences. Across the Zarkan Empire, war factories roared like fire-breathing beasts. These were the heart of their power, giant machines that built weapons, ships, and soldiers day and night. But now, they had a visitor. Not a fleet, not a strike force, just him, the scout. The first target, Factory 119, deep in the asteroid belt. A fortress with titanium walls, 20 plasma turrets, and over 500 guards. The scout didn't enter through the front. He didn't fight through the soldiers. He slipped in through a waste pipe, small, cold, forgotten. At 200 hours, the lights inside the factory blinked, then went black. Guards rushed to respond. Turrets turned on. Emergency bots scrambled. But by the time they reached the command center, the screen showed only one message. Too slow. Moments later, the entire facility exploded from the inside. No alarms, no warning, just silence before fire. Factory after factory fell. Not from attacks, but from infiltration. Sabotage. Precision. One worker swore he saw a human figure walk past the window just before their systems melted down. No one believed him, until every system did melt down. Zarkan High Command watched in horror as blinking lights on their map turned from green to red to gone. Factory 278, Factory 92, Factory 1, their oldest and strongest, gone. Commander Vex screamed, "He's everywhere." "No," General Tak corrected him, eyes wide. "He's just one man, but we don't know where he'll strike next." Panic gripped the Empire. Soldiers refused to work night shifts. Engineers quit. Commanders ordered factories to shut down early just to survive. They tried building traps inside the factories. Laser webs, AI turrets, acid pits. None of them worked, because the scout never walked into them. He turned them off before even arriving. One report said their internal firewalls had been reprogrammed hours before the scout arrived. How? They asked. The answer came in another message, left behind in a melted control panel. "Before you saw me, I was already inside." Back on Earth, the results were clear. Zarkan production was collapsing. No new ships, no new weapons, only fear, and Earth had done it, without declaring war. On a distant hill, the scout stood watching the smoke rise from his latest target. He didn't smile. He didn't rest. He opened a small device and recorded a short message. Factories neutralized. Their strength is now noise. Awaiting Phase 5. He closed the device and disappeared into the mist. Far away, a small Zarkan child asked his teacher, "Is the ghost real?" The teacher looked around nervously, then whispered, "He's not a ghost. He's a human, and we made the mistake of waking him up." The factories had fallen. The Empire was trembling. And still, they hadn't seen his face. The human scout had become more than a soldier. He was a story told in hushed voices, a shadow in every corridor. Entire fleets were grounded because of one man. And now, it was time to end it. But the end would not come with fire. It would come with truth. In the burned ruins of Zarkan's oldest war council chamber, a projector blinked to life. No one touched it. No one turned it on. It started by itself. Across the Empire, the same thing happened. In ships, in bunkers, even in private royal rooms. Every screen lit up with the same message. "This is the Scout. You failed every test." The message was not loud. It was calm, cold, measured. "You thought we sent an army. We sent a warning. You thought I came to fight. I came to watch, to learn. You showed me your weapons, your courage, your fear, and your weakness. You don't fear Earth because of our strength. You fear us because you now know. We don't need armies to win." The screen changed. Clips showed factory ruins, silent soldiers, command centers in chaos, a galaxy holding its breath. Then came the final words. This was not Earth's full force. This was one human. "Next time, you won't get a scout. You'll get a storm." The message ended. And across the Empire, panic turned into silence. The war was over, without a single official battle. The Zarkans had been broken not by guns, but by doubt. Their fleets still floated, but no one dared use them. Their leaders still ruled, but no one believed them. Because now they knew. Earth had only whispered, and it was enough. Back on a lonely moon, the scout stood by a shuttle, his mission complete. A new message came through his device. "Return home. Debrief complete. Galaxy realigned." He didn't speak. He simply looked at the stars, then stepped into the shadows. The galaxy would recover, but they would never forget. Not the face, not the name, because they never knew it. They only remembered the story, the human who came alone and made an empire fall apart.